For example, on softer paints, like Hondas and Acuras are notorious for that. The clear coat is softer than, say, the German cars, like BMWs or Audis.
Yep.
Okay.
And so it's just good to have that in your back pocket when you need it.
More tools to your arsenal.
Exactly.
The way I see microfibers is you can't just have one and think you're going to use it as a hammer, right? In your toolbox you guys have at home, you don't just have a hammer, you have multiple tools. Well, you have multiple microfiber towels for different situations as well.
And to our credit, that's one thing that we really strive to do is figure out what towels are always going to be the best for each type of situation.
Yeah.
So if we start with just the terry weave, what we've got here is varying degrees of thickness in GSM. We have some 80-20 and we have some 70-30 mixed in here.
Yeah.
But on the terries, there are a few towels in that lineup that we could use to detail an entire car inside and out if we could only have one towel.
Okay.
So just because it's a terry weave, we don't necessarily need to have a plush towel for the job. A proper, good weighted, good blended terry weave towel will work to do
pretty much
100% of the car, which is a really good thing to have. However, longer pile towels like the circular knit weave or even like the Creature, which is a dual pile, it has a short nap on one side and a long nap on the other. They tend to lend themselves better in certain situations for sprayables. So think of things like drying aids, spray waxes, spray sealants.
Yes.
Let's say you've detailed the car, and most of us are going to say, oh, we're in a dust-free environment. Well, it's not always dust-free. If you're working in your garage at your house and you've just finished and you've blown off the car and it's all ready to go, and your wife or girlfriend comes out and she hits the garage door and the door opens, you've created a vacuum. Stuff comes in, as well as whatever's on that garage door that is now making its way and moving, stuff's gonna fall on it.
Absolutely.
So you're gonna have contamination on the surface. Especially when all you have left to do is maybe do a quick spray wax or a spray sealant or something that you need to wipe the car down with. Using a longer nap towel will work better to remove those fine particles, because it'll be able to give it that much, think of it like fingers going across. They're able to pull them up farther into the surface, where if you tried to wipe the car down with something like this, there's nowhere.
Which has no fibers.
There is nowhere for that particle to go.
Yes.
So it has more of a tendency to slide that particle around on the surface by inherently adding more scratches.
So this will pick it up more, essentially.
This will pick it up.
Like fingers picking dirt up.
That'll pick it up better. And the same with like this, the difference between a short nap and a long nap. The long nap will have a better ability at removing particulates from the surface than the short nap will.
Absolutely.
Now the short naps come in handy really well when you're trying to remove like a ceramic coating. Yes, using like the 300. A short nap works very well at removing a ceramic coating, because a long nap towel, those fingers, think of them as fingers instead of, almost like a shorter fingers, I guess you could say. You have to work a little harder at trying to remove a ceramic coating with this towel.
Especially if the coating gets sticky.
Especially
when
if
you're
the coating
leveling it off or buffing it off.
It's going to be a lot harder to remove with something with longer fibers than something with a shorter fiber. This is going to have more surface area to grab and get all that stuff off. Same with polishes and waxes.
See, guys, when we were talking sometimes on my channel, I love ceramic coatings. When it's time to remove it, a lot of people think that because it's a protection item, sort of like a wax or a sealant, you'd want the plusher towel. Well, that's not the case, because coatings tend to be a bit more grabby when it's time to level off. So you'd want a shorter nap towel, just like this, so it won't grab. And you could do, it'll facilitate your lives, trust me on this one. So this is the Eagle 300,
Edgeless 300.
The Edgeless 300, okay.
And this is a 70-30 blend, so it's a very soft, safe towel. So if you ever do run into soft paint that you just don't want to damage anymore, this takes care of that as well.
Absolutely.
But it's a 300 GSM. So going back to the different, plushness before we work into GSM. Like I said, circular knit weaves, there's varying differentiations between them. So this is a traditional circular knit, just like the Eagles, and so is this. The difference between it is this is a short nap circular knit, and this is a longer nap circular knit. So it's woven the same way. The difference is it's almost as if this fiber was shaved down. So this towel, this is a Everest 800, can work very well for removing coatings as well because it's got that lower profile nap. The difference in this towel is its weight. It's a heavier towel.
Okay.
So you're going to have it's going to just feel much heavier because the fiber is that much more dense.
Yeah, I can feel the difference, guaranteed, yeah.
Yeah. So, but even in there, you can still pick the right weave. You just look for the thickness or nap of the fiber that'll best suit your what you need. Same with the twist piles. They're a very dense, heavy towel.
Okay.
But if you look at it, they have a bunch of individual loops.
Yes.
And so technically they do have a nap as well.
Okay.
But with these towels, they lend themselves to getting very wet and being very absorbent. So
do they, by the way, do they call those twisted loops because the fibers themselves are twisted actual loops?
Yeah, when you get in down into it, they're literally just little twisted.
Yeah, I can see
they're
that.
literally a loop that has just been twisted.
So you have more surface area, let's say, to absorb more water.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And the same goes with the waffles.
Yes.
The waffles are basically small little boxes.
Yeah.
And they have 4 sides in each box plus the indentation.
Yep.
So if you think of the material, if you had to unfold all those boxes, how much bigger this towel would be.
Absolutely.
That's, again, surface area. So the towel is absorbing more and is able to handle more liquid because it fills up each one of these little squares or the pockets, and that's why we call them a thirst pocket.
Absolutely.
Because that's what they're for, is to
so
absorb
see guys,
liquid.
like as you can see, that just the design of the towels as well makes a big difference in what you're using them for. When you were talking about circular weaves, so what does that look like if we were like in a microscope and looking at them closely? Why do they call them circular?
Because there's very small
little circles
in each one, and how it's woven. Okay. And you can get farther down into it and look, and you can kind of see the way it is woven together.
Yes.
It's, we're talking heavy microscopic look, but the biggest thing, the reason that makes these so great is these are technically open. Where most of these are closed loop construction, circular knits are an open loop.
So hence the fingers style.
So hence the fingers
compared
coming
to
up.
a loop like this there.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so that's what makes this so much different. That's also when people say, oh, I don't like microfiber, it grabs back. That is because it's a closed loop, and if you think about your skin being almost like Velcro on a microfiber towel, you've got a loop and you've got a hook. Yes. And your skin particles sticking out of your hand, if it's very rough, is basically a bunch of little hooks, and the towel is a loop. And so people go, no, I don't like these because they're sticky. Okay. Then they come in and they touch these and they go, wow, these feel really great because there's no loops. Okay. So
that's why they feel plusher.
Yeah, and some people commonly mistake it and go, well, that's a split fiber. Well, all microfibers split. Okay. That's what the design of the logo is it's a split of a cross section. But what they mean when they talk about a plush is that it's just open, it's not a loop. So
which, by the way, you just hit, if we can look at your t-shirt, that's your logo, but that's an actual microfiber.
Yeah, it's a cross section of a microfiber.
Okay, that's cool.
It's split, and so particulates go up into all those little spots. Yes. So then going forward onto GSM, grams per square meter.
The big numbers thing.
This changes the way a towel performs. Okay. The GSM, the grams per square meter, is the density of the fiber. So it's not necessarily the thickness of the towel. No. Okay, that's a big misconception. So a lot of people think that, oh, this is an 1100 GSM. This is what 1100 GSM looks like. Or they grab this and go, ooh, this is nice and plush. This is 500 GSM. Yeah. This is what a 500 GSM towel is supposed to feel like. Okay. Well, these glass towels are in the 400s. So, and they're not at all the same thing. And they're not at all, but it's the density of the fiber and the weight that density creates. Okay. So we measure and weigh all these towels, and we know what their weights are, and we list them on our website so people can decide. Now, density helps with pressure points on ultra plush towels. Okay. So things to remember is that when you have, like, this is a 350, this is a 500, and this is a 600. Yeah. Those are the different weights listed for these eagles. This towel is a really great towel, but it's also a very thin towel. Yes. So for some people, they might find it's not near thick enough between their hand and the surface that they're working on. So that buffer space between your hand and the surface. Okay. So that's why they'll move up to the 500, or they'll find the 600 to be their sweet spot. And maybe we can see these. Yeah, you can. So this is
a lot thicker. So
Yeah,
if I
you
apply
can-
pressure, it'll distribute my force a lot greater
Yeah.
than this one here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so people will, pick the way they want these towels to kind of work and perform for them, and that goes throughout all the line. Same with our terry weaves. We've got a 245 to start out with, and we go all the way up to a 420 GSM with the terries.
Okay.
So, like, we've got this green one right in here. This is a 245, so it's a very, very thin towel,
Yeah.
very, light, airy. This is a great towel for interior dirty jobs, things
All-purpose
like
stuff,
that.
yeah.
This is a true all-purpose towel.
Yeah.
Because it's an 80-20, but it's a very thin towel. Then you step up 50 GSM, 55 GSM, and go to the 300.
Yes.
So we have the edgeless
bit plusher.
300.
Yeah.
You can feel the difference in the weight between
Absolutely.
them, but this does one other thing. This steps up from an 80-20 to a 70-30 blend. So now this towel is a very soft, nice towel.
Because the polyamide content that we just increased.
Right.
Okay.
So, however, this, our standard all-purpose terry, is 320 GSM,
Okay.
but it's an 80-20 blend. So, just like the 245,
Yes.
they're both 80-20s. They're both the same type of terry weave,
Mm-hmm.
but again, this is 245 GSM. This is 320 GSM. So if people find, I just need a little bit more,
Yes.
this is the industry standard. 320 GSM, 16-16, 80-20
Absolutely.
towel.
Yeah.
This is the #1 towel in the world.
Yeah.
When people think of microfiber.
Yep.
But it's not. It's a good towel. Could it be improved upon? Yes. So that's when we up the blend
Yes.
and go to a 70-30. Now we have a much softer, much more absorbent towel than this one.
So depending on the person's needs, there's towels for literally any type of use
Exactly.
that you can find.
Well, then let's say this towel, you love the blend, you love
The 300.
the 300, but you need just a little more cushion.
Yeah.
You step up to the 365. And so that
there you go. You
edgeless
feel it automatically.
365
Yeah.
is 65 GSM heavier.
Yes.
That's it. And again, 70-30 blend, but like we've heard, 320 to 365, 380
Yeah,
is the sweet spot for
Yeah.
microfiber.
I agree.
So that's why we did an Eagle edgeless in a 350 in the
Yes.
purple.
Yes.
That's why we have the all-purpose terries in the 320 GSM. That's why we have the edgeless 300 and edgeless 365.
Yes.
So folks that maybe don't
Yep.
want the overlock stitch and want a 70-30 blend,
Yep.
this gets them in the door
Perfect.
and they can do something. Now,
Before
get
you
to
go
there,
forward,
yes.
you just spoke about something. You're talking about overlock stitch. So I've seen we have silk edges.
Yes.
You have satin edges
Or suede.
or suede, and then you get these ones who are
Edgeless. That's
edgeless.
knife cut.
So what are the differences in the way why some have edges and why do some not have any
We
edges?
will go on to that
Okay.
as soon as I finish GSM.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
The last one, 420 GSM.
Yeah.
That is the creatures and the spectrums. These again are terry weave, but they are a dual purpose. So this has a short nap and this has a much longer nap on the
So
side.
each side has a different
Each
style.
side has a
Okay.
different nap. And so the beauty of this towel is that it can, you can use it to remove compounds, you can use it to remove polishes, you can use it for spray waxes, you can use it for removing, we have people that use it to remove coatings. They love this towel. And again, this towel is identical to the rest of these in the sense that it is a terry weave towel.
Okay.
But it is a 70-30 and it has 420 GSM. So it's a much thicker towel. And the reason for that is it lends itself because of that extra long nap on the other side.
Yes.
Has added the density of that weight to
So
the towel.
plusher, denser, thicker. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And same thing with this Minx is a 360 GSM towel. And it is a very thin, very light, very airy, but once it's wet, it feels like a Eagle 500.
Yeah.
Because it's so thick when it's full of liquid. So those are the different GSMs. And like I said, the waffles are a much heavier GSM. They're about 590 because again, the surface area compared to, some of these 1,000 GSM towels. Does it make this much better than the others? No, it's personal preference.
That's it. It's not a question of what's better or what's worse.
No.
There's just different grades, different
Yep.
styles.
This towel is just as equally as good as the 300
Yeah.
because they're both 70-30 blends.
Okay.
So they're both very absorbent and very soft, and they're not going to harm the finish. But if you are, let's say you have a very nice car that you want to keep clean, you want to maybe just wipe it down every once in a while, You could use this,
Yep.
but we also make this. And for folks who want the biggest, softest, plushest towel, we've got it covered.
There you go. Okay.
We have it for you if you want it.